I'm Oral Hershiser, and I am on Blue Review.
Hey, this is Sean Green. You're watching the Blue Review.
Um, 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 Bring
A really, really good win last night deserves lasers on a Wednesday morning. Welcome, everybody, to the Blue Review presented by LAX. I'm Marcas Grant. That is Greg Bergman. And man, I know it's only May. I know that in the long run, it doesn't necessarily mean a ton. But Greg, last night felt really good.
That was the most satisfying win of the season, and by far. And yes, because of the Padres, but off of Mason Miller and how it all happened, we can get into all of it. But I think I have to change a stance of mine, and I don't like it.
Ooh, I'm very curious to hear what this is. We did not discuss this pre-show, so I'm very intrigued by all that. So we'll get into that and plenty more. But first, want to let you know the Blue Review is powered by LAX. Next time you're heading to LAX, look up. You'll see the future of airport travel in action as the new all-electric Skylink People Mover train is undergoing testing. For more information, visit lawa.org/ESPN. The Dodgers get one over on the Padres last night. 5-4, the final score on a night where it wasn't always pretty. It definitely wasn't easy, and it essentially ends with Andy Pages having one of the most epic at-bats you will ever see against a guy who has been damn near unhittable for about a year now, fouling off 6 pitches and hitting a fly ball just deep enough to get Alex Call home from third base, break a 4-4 tie. Will Klein closes it out in the 9th inning, and the Dodgers get the win. I think we got to start with that Andy Pages at bat, Greg, because it was just absolutely phenomenal to stand there and battle Mason Miller the way he did and do just enough to drive in the winning run.
Yeah, no, this was Andy Pages' second time facing Miller, because he faced him the day before. It did not turn out as well. I think he struck out because Mason Miller was on fire. He was wild, but Miller was wild again. But what Andy Pages did was extremely impressive, because I put it in the group chat 2 days ago when they first faced him, that Andy Pages does really well against high-powered velocity type guys. If you look at his numbers against Paul Skeens, he's one of the only guys that actually hits Paul Skeens, and he hits him pretty regularly. He was a guy that I remember last year or the year before, he was something like 4 for 5 with 3 home runs or something like that against him. I don't know what the numbers are now, but he does well against those types of guys. So it was good to see Pages just standing there and just foul off of a pitch and over and over and over. And it was just great. And now we're watching at the bottom here. What's great about it too, it was just enough. You have a guy with a really strong arm who actually had to throw it to a cutoff man because he wasn't going to get there. And Alex Call, you got to give it up to Doc too, taking out Max Muncy after a great walk from Muncy.
There's no chance Max Muncy scores on that.
No. So it was absolutely the right play. And you got to give it up to Andy Pages for having an absolute beautiful professional at bat.
Well, you saw there too on the tweet that was up there. Why did they cut it off? And I had that thought too last night, because it wasn't hit super deep. And as you mentioned, Tatis has a really good arm and came up and fired a laser. And there was a part of me that wonders, if they don't cut that ball off, do they get call at the plate? I mean, it's sort of like the Ha-Seong Kim, why didn't you send him thing from the night before. It's a thing that we will probably never know and can always argue about.
Can we play
it again? It did cross my mind about why exactly did they cut that ball off? I even in real time was like, wait, what are you doing? Because I actually thought Call was going to be out if they just let the ball go through.
Yeah, me too. And I'd love to be able to see it, Carlo or Tim, if you can put that back up. I'd love to actually watch it again and see like what was going on there. But it was very much something that I don't get it either. I mean, because of the strength of Tatis's arm, and he has been, but it goes. I love that you said about the Ha-Seong Kim thing, because you have to send at that point. You have to send guys around. I think Dino will also notice. And also, once that ball was in the air, he was moving no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it was on the ground, whether it was in the air, Alice Call was going to be going from third to home and trying to get that run up, because otherwise you're not getting a run off of Mason Miller. And the way that it all happened, too, was kind of crazy because he threw a ball away to get Call to third base when Call was going to steal on first movement, and he just turned and threw the ball completely out of the reach of Ty France.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things about, and I feel this way a lot. It's one of the reasons that strikeouts will always bug me, because I want teams to put pressure on the defense. And sometimes that means just putting the ball in play. Yeah, 98% of the time, a ground ball is going to be an out. But every once in a while, they will throw a ball away. It's why I sort of miss stolen bases, because they're fun, they're exciting, but also because it puts pressure on the defense and it forces catchers and infielders and pitchers to make a play. And every once in a while, oh yeah, he was so picked.
Oh, he was completely jacked. Like there's no chance he's going to get there. I would still love to see the Tatis throw one more time.
Yeah, if you guys could pull up the Tatis throw again,
that would be amazing. I'd love to see whether or not he would have been able to get home or not. But
so while they're looking for that too,
here we go.
There it is. Okay. So again, kind of medium deep. And this thing was on a rope.
Yeah, look where it is right there. So that's on a rope. That's going to, it's going to hit the ground.
It is. And maybe that slows it down just enough. I don't know, but it does also feel, even with a good relay, just the time it takes to catch it, retrieve it, throw it makes a difference.
It obviously did make the difference, but also I think what he was doing, so he catches it and has a rope at him instead of it being on the ground and having to get there off of a bounce. Who knows where the bounce goes? I can see it, but it also looked offline. If you show it one more time, it looks like it was just a little offline,
little up the line a bit. So that could be.
Still would have been behind him right here. So you're like, where it goes and up the line.
Yeah. So maybe
he wouldn't have gotten home.
So maybe it was necessary to cut. And who knows? I mean, maybe you have the catcher who's at Fermin, because he's back there, he's watching the whole thing. So he could be the one yelling, cut it, cut it, cut it. Things you don't know when you're watching it on TV.
Overall, it was an amazing game. It was all the way through. Like, we can go through everything, but just to see what it looks like. They take the lead early. Then Sheehan gives up a 2-run home run. Then it gets to 4-2. Then it's 2-0.
Then a second 2-run home run.
Yeah. Then there's a second 2 home run. They come back when typically they haven't been coming back, even though it was against. It's in those moments we all thought probably, this might not happen, and just slowly chipped away. You got a second Freddie home run. You got another run to come across, and then to get it through that way in the 9th, after you had a chance in the 8th to get it done. Guys on third base consistently and not getting them in, and we're able to find a way to get that one in. It was just a very, very overall satisfying win.
Absolutely. I mean, having the leadoff double in the 8th from Shohei and not being able to bring him in, that felt like a huge gut punch at that point, but they figured it out, which, by the way, is just to button the stuff up on Andy Pages. And I saw this yesterday on MLB.com. Manny Randwa and Theo DeRosa put together, they're predicting this year's All-MLB team. And I'm scrolling through it, just looking to see what Dodgers are potentially going to be there. And I got to the outfield where I just assumed that Andy Pages, who was tied for the major league lead in RBI, was going to be one of their selections. There were way too early selections on the All-MLB team. Nope. Who
is it? PCA?
So the first team is Aaron Judge. Okay, sure. Juan Soto.
I mean, come on.
I guess.
No, he's been out. He was injured. It's
name value, I guess.
That's name. That's name alone, by the way.
So Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, and Mike Trout, who, aside from the first 3 weeks of the season, has been kind of bad. Since the month of May, I wouldn't look this up because I was so annoyed. He's had 4 hits in the month of May.
Yeah.
I think just 1 home run in the month of May. He's been bad since that first 3 weeks. Second team, Byron Buxton. All right, he's been hurt lately.
He's been good.
But he's been playing well. Corbin Carroll, who actually has gotten really hot lately, and Jordan Walker. But I'm like,
good early, yeah.
You couldn't find a spot for Andy Paez on here. I was annoyed.
What was the publication again?
It's MLB.com. In fact,
MLB.com. Who wrote it?
He's not even amongst others receiving votes.
That's a Dodger bias. There's nothing else to say about that besides it is a Dodger bias because Andy Paez he is leading the league in RBIs.
Yes.
There it is. He's leading the league in RBIs. He's one of the best, if not top 2 defenders at his position in center field. And he was at the leading in batting average, but he has been nothing short of the best play. He's carried this Dodger team. I think it's fair to say Andy Paez has been the one that has carried this team, him and Max Muncy, to where they are right now, to be in first place. So for MLB.com to do this, it's those guys at the bottom, that is nothing short of just name value.
Yeah.
There's no other reason to have them there.
For what it's worth, Max Muncy was the second team third baseman behind Jose Ramirez.
Oh, good. Okay.
So there. Anyway, I had to get that off my chest because I saw that yesterday and it irritated me.
Can I tell you my thing that
Yes, please. That's what I was going to ask. What is the thing you have changed your opinion on?
So I was on the radio and I've been very steadfast in the fact that this is not a rivalry. It's not the Giants. The Giants are the rivalry. The Padres, this is a situational rivalry. That this is something like it's just the Padres. They are not something that we can actually call a true rivalry. I think I have to change it. I was watching both of these last 2 games with full intent in May, and they're close, tight games. Both teams, you can tell they're both playing like they think it's the postseason. They're getting excited like it's the postseason. The energy level is high. They desperately want to beat each other. And when the Dodgers won, I was legitimately excited when most of the time when they win a game and it comes in late, I'm like, cool, great. Okay, I can go to bed now. Instead of there was a little bit of a high behind it. And so I am going to change, which I think is allowed to do in certain situations. Yeah. I'm going to change my stance and call this actually a rivalry.
All right. I'm still of the situational type. Yeah, I mean, obviously last night was great. There was a lot of excitement, a lot of energy. You're right. It did sort of have at least, if not a playoff feel, certainly a late season feel to it. I mean, they're separated by half a game and, they're separated by a couple hundred miles. But if the Padres weren't good, like when even when the Giants are bad, we still care about beating the Giants. If the Padres are bad, it's like, whatever, man, it's the Padres. This had that feeling because this Padre team is playing really well. They're neck and neck with the Dodgers. It's been this way for a few years now. Obviously they've met in the playoffs. They've got guys that we don't like. Manny Machado is always fun. It's fun to watch him strike out. I will tell you, I was absolutely terrified last night with 2 outs and Fernando Tatis at the plate that somehow he was going to hit his first home run off Will Klein and have that tie the ball game. Like I was
Me too.
absolutely holding my breath that didn't happen. But I think if the Padres somehow fell off again and they were, the Giants are 20-29. If the Padres were 9 games under 500 and 10 games back, it would be like, we beat you, but it wouldn't be the same level of excitement. So I still think it's situational, but the situation is right now. So it's fun.
So you're trying to I'm obviously very much on the fence about this and going back and forth, and you're bringing up points that I had before also that it was, that this is something that when they're bad. So maybe I have to rethink. I just have to, I thought, you know what? This is it. This is the moment. I was so excited. Prisoner of the moment. Yeah, it's actually a rivalry. And now I'm like, wait, you know what? It's a very good point. I'm not strong on my opinion right now, so I have to hold off on it.
Yeah, just sit with it for a little bit. Let's let it roll around, see how it feels in a little bit. But I still think it's situational. I think if the Padres ever have a fire sale and start to fall apart again, then it'll just be like we can point and laugh, but there won't be the same energy behind it.
I will, because we had this discussion on Monday on DeMarco and Travis. I was very much on your side. I think we were both in the same page.
Because the Cardinals for a while was a rivalry. They would meet in the playoffs and they were eating the Dodgers lunch in the postseason. I still curse the name Matt Adams. Now it's not quite. I know the Cardinals are playing well right now, but it's not quite the same
Right.
at the moment. So that's all.
No, yeah, we will forget about the Padres and refocus on the Giants when that.
Yeah, exactly. We do got to talk about Emmett Sheehan though, because it has been a rocky year for Sheehan, and the Dodgers get him a 2-0 lead in the top of the first inning on Freddie Freeman's first of his 2 home runs, and he pretty much immediately gives it right back. He gives up a 2-out walk and then just puts one on a tee for Manny Machado. Then later, Tatis reaches on an infield single, ground ball up the middle. Kim doesn't get it to first base quite in time, and then gives up a home run again. Fastball kind of middle in to Miguel Andujar. You said, like these viewers, Jeff Spiegel said, 92 is just not going to get it done. It's hard in the major leagues to live at 92 miles an hour if you don't have pinpoint accuracy.
Yeah. And he did not last night. And these were the moments those are the things that we talk about with Emmett Sheehan where is his velocity? Where is he at? Because he was started the game at 96, but it clearly dropped down to 92, as you were saying. If you want to be like Alex Vezina throws 90 to 92, and that's a typical thing.
And I don't know how he's surviving, but
it's smoke and mirrors, by the way. But then, Jeff is going to come on next Monday and tell us like, well, all the advanced metrics are all telling you that 90 mile per hour fastball is actually.
I'm going to sit here and pull up his Fangraphs page as you talk about
it's smoke and mirrors, and it's great as long as it works for Alex Vezina. That's great, but at the same time, if you're a starting pitcher it's a young starting pitcher that doesn't have that accuracy that guys like Vezina do. It's gonna be a problem, and guys are gonna hit it, and that's when we're gonna see it. So when we get to, a moment when Glasnow, if he ever comes back, and Snell, if he ever comes back, are Sheehan, and the whole argument about Sheehan, Wrobleski, and Roki is going to become a lot more louder based off of what Sheehan is doing overall. Now, I did think that he pitched okay besides that, but it was not one of his best outings, and it's gonna be a problem at some point.
Yeah, I don't know. It felt like he got hit pretty hard last night. He got away with a few. There were a few that I think they just missed. I mean, obviously, Machado did not miss his. I mean, he got a middle fastball.
Well, can we talk about the Machado one for just a second? Because Joe Davis had an announcer jinx, and he tried to do it 2 days in a row. He keeps talking about, he hasn't hit a fastball in 2 weeks. He hasn't hit a fastball in 2 weeks. He's 0 for blank against the fastball in 2 weeks. And then he hits a home run off a fastball. Yes, it was middle, and you can't do that against him. It's like, he hasn't hit. He was thinking to himself, he's not hitting fastballs right now. I'll just toss it right down the middle. And he just smoked it at 108 off the bat. So Thank you, Joe Davis. I love you. You're one of my favorites, but quit with the jinx, okay?
Yeah, that was tough. So that one, the Andujar one, just misses right now, and Sheehan doesn't have the stuff at the moment to miss like that. If you are going to live at 92, 93, you've got to be it's got to be late career Kershaw, where you have to figure out when to throw those pitches, where to throw those pitches, and how to miss bats. And it's not a thing that he's doing right now. And look, if we're horse racing this thing, right? If we're handicapping this thing, when everybody's healthy, I think it's hardest to make I think it's probably hardest to make the case for Roki, but he seems sort of exempt from this. I think it's harder to make the case to keep Sheehan in the rotation compared to what Wrobleski is doing. And I don't know if that means there's room in the bullpen or what happens, but Sheehan right now seems sort of like the odd man out amongst that group.
Yeah, no, and I think he will be. And basically, if it's the velocity thing, it's probably mechanical, because if he's throwing 96 and he drops to 92 that fast within the space of one game, there's something mechanical that he's changing in the middle of the game, and he's not sure of what it is, which means that he's probably going to, at that point, he would go down to AAA, I would imagine, to be able to work on that so he can get back up to the space he is. But he's going to be in the bullpen when it comes to the postseason like he was last year. So at that point, if you can find space in the bullpen, sure. But at the same time, I think it's better for him he's in a situation of going down to AAA to fix his mechanics to be ready for the rotation or bullpen later on.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's sort of the thing there. Since we're talking starting pitching, might as well talk the guys in the bullpen, because they have been absolutely lights out. Jesse, and this is a me thing. I've got to work on this. When I see Edgardo Henriquez, it makes me nervous.
Yeah.
But he has been pretty good this year. I was going through his game logs. He had a couple of,
early on
so-so games early on. But even then, there's like one of them in a game where they blew out the Nationals, where he gave up a couple of runs. There was one in a game, I think it's the Cardinals, where he had kind of gotten away already and he gave up a run. Lately, he's been really, really good. Do I need to readjust my expectations on Edgardo Henriquez? Because I always still have this feeling like he's not sure where the ball is going. He doesn't necessarily get a ton of swing and miss. But to this point, he's getting the job done for them.
Yeah, he is getting the job done, and he's coming in, and he also gives you a change of pace in his fastball because he throws it so hard. He can get up to 102 miles an hour, and and I was looking at the games like 99 to 102. I understand it's only 3 miles per hour. It makes a massive
makes a difference. Yeah,
it makes a huge difference. When Will Klein came in and was throwing 99, I was like, oh wow, Will Klein throwing 99, and then Mason Miller throws 101. And you're like, that was much faster. That was a different pitch. But for Edgardo Henriquez, he has that type of power too, so he can come do that stuff. But he almost feels like a Gratterall type where he doesn't get the swing and miss. He doesn't get that many strikeouts, and he does give up a little bit of contact. So he's getting strikeouts. I think he's had a strikeout in at least one in his last like 5 or 6 outings. But he is a scary pitcher because you don't know. We've seen it so many times, I think, where he comes in and he's either, wow, that was lightning, or whoa, that was really, really bad. Mm-hmm. So, but he's now been up here for about 3 years, and we've seen a little bit more of him. Maybe we have to take off some of the bias from years past and just kind of see what he's got. He's up there in the trust tree right now.
He is. He absolutely is in the trust tree right now. And so, it's good to see the bullpen. I think it's 23 consecutive scoreless innings. Granted, it's against teams that are sort of offensively challenged in a lot of ways.
The Padres are offensively challenged too.
They are. The Padres are definitely offensively challenged. Even forget the Andujar home runs, forget the Machado home runs. This is a team that is not scoring a lot so far this season. So, but they're getting it done, and that's really all you can ask of them. So we'll see if they can keep that going tonight. Game 3 of the series, Shohei on the mound. Do we think, or have we heard, is Shohei going to hit as well as pitch tonight?
I haven't seen anything on it. He has not pitched and hit in the same game the last 3 times out, and 4 of the last 5 times he has not pitched and hit the same time out. If those patterns are the same, I would imagine he's not going to today. I think he needs to at some point get back to hitting and pitching. Right now at the beginning of the season in May, probably not as important. But if he's going to, I think a little bit later on would be maybe just a little bit more important, where it's by what you think, like July after the All-Star break, he should start doing both. You can kind of give him a little days off here and there, but also he's kind of found his stroke again, not his home run stroke, but he's found his hitting stroke again. So I don't know. It kind of feels like you want his bat in the lineup still, especially against the Padres. Oh, I don't hear anything. Is it just me? I don't hear anything. I don't hear Marcus. So,
you know why?
Okay.
There you go. Yeah, no, you're right. He was hitting. I had to clear my throat. I muted. I forgot to unmute. That's all. Yeah. Technical error. No, you're right. He's hitting the ball hard. He's hitting it to all fields. That is what you want. So we'll see if he's in the lineup tonight. The power, I think, is going to come. The home runs will come because the swing is back, and that's where we are right now.
You think he should pitch and hit tonight?
I think he should. I think he should, just because he's hot at the plate. Like I know part of it is to rest him a little bit, but I know part of it the last couple of times is just because he was slumping. So just let him focus on one thing. Now that he's hitting again, I think he should be back in the lineup. That's just my opinion.
And there's an off day tomorrow, so that's another reason to be.
Yeah.
You're going to have your rest tomorrow, no matter what. I would love to see him hit and pitch tonight. It's going to be up to Doc, and it's going to be up to Andrew Friedman. But for the most part, I would love to see him do both today.
Yeah, he'll be going against Randy Vasquez, who has faced the Dodgers 3 times so far in his career. He's 0-1, 4.05 ERA. The guy who has actually hit him the best is Andy Pages. 3 for 6 against Vasquez with a pair of home runs. So we will see what that means tonight, if that carries over. But the first pitch, 5:40 from down there in downtown San Diego at Petco Park. And we will all be watching, and we will all be talking about it tomorrow. So
you know what that means to me when I hear a 5:40 start?
Early bed.
That's right. That's right, baby. That means that this game is going to be over by 8 o'clock, and I can just kind of chill after that. You'll be able to watch game. I'm going to have to watch game 2 of the NBA Finals at the same time. I just have to decide whether I want game 2 on the phone or on the TV, whereas I have the Dodgers on the phone or the TV. I think I'm going to go Dodgers TV.
Yeah. I mean, well, it depends. Unless, Victor Wembanyama becomes destroyer of all worlds again, and then you got to watch that on this biggest screen as you possibly can.
I like to see Shohei pitch.
That's true. That's fair. This is quickly becoming Wemby's league, by the way.
Oh yeah.
If we haven't acknowledged that already,
especially if they win tonight. I know this isn't the Wemby review, but if they win tonight, that will be 6 out of the 7 games this year for the Spurs over the Thunder.
Yeah. Eesh. Dude's amazing. Anyway, what is also amazing has been you guys hanging out with us here on the Blue Review. Stick around for the Sedano and Cap Morning Extravaganza. Thanks to Tim and Carlo for production assistance, getting us up and on this morning. And that'll do it for this edition of the Blue Review. For Greg Bergman, I'm Marcas Grant. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 6:30 to 6:55 here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel.
That's it.